Now let's take a look at the project that we're going to be using to learn about the modeling tools and techniques that we have available in Maya. So what we're going to be building throughout the course of this project is this little remote control car and the remote itself. So let's take a look at some of the different pieces around here. So we've got the overall molded shell that we're going to be creating, and we've got a piece kind of stuck on top of it. We've got the spoiler, and it's made up of several pieces here. It's kind of attached down to this bottom frame piece. We also have some sort of detail underneath, some polygons in here. We'll be talking about extruding. We've also got the tires, and you can see they've got these little knobs for tread distributed across the tire. See the tire is a separate piece, and we've got the wheel. We've also got some screws that give us a nice sense of scale, where this is kind of a smaller toy kind of look. We've got these sort of springs that are attached to these different parts, the wheel and then to the frame. And so just as with anything, a lot of these different pieces you'll be able to build in a bunch of different ways. And so there's not necessarily going to be one exact way that you have to build a certain thing, but we'll try to use these pieces as an example to show a really broad range of the tools that you have available in Maya. So we may look at building one piece one way, and then we may look at building a similar piece using a completely different method, just so that you have exposure to those different methods, because not everybody will like to build things in a certain way. Maybe you have a different tool that you like to work with a little bit better than one of the other ones. And like I said, most of these pieces you'll have multiple paths to be able to get to that piece, and really our job in this course is just to show you as many of those paths as we can so that you can choose the best one to get to that spot. So even up here you can see where we've got some detail distributed across the surface. We'll use this as an opportunity to look at also some of the new features in Maya 2014. This modeling toolkit is kind of cool. There's some interesting things in here that we can use, and this is something that's new, along with the old standby tools that will allow us to get the look that we have here. And so we'll talk about a lot of the techniques as far as getting adding details like seams and the screws, and talking about scale, and also the tools to get certain looks, to be able to copy things across a surface, to be able to get things like the spring built out, how to draw out flat shapes like this and add thickness to them, how to connect different pieces together. We've got this framework sort of connected across in different ways, how to combine geometry together and create details in different ways. So there's a lot of little pieces on here, and if you're just starting out, if you haven't really created too much in the way of models before, this maybe will look a little bit intimidating, but really you break it down into its component pieces. You know, we go through this in a couple of hours. We can create all of these little pieces, and we're gonna go through it step by step, so you won't have to guess at anything, and you're really gonna find that when you get done, you'll have a much better understanding of a lot of the different tools that we have here in Maya, and some of the ways that we can put those to work for us in building something like this remote control car, which will then translate into the models that you actually want to create for yourself, those custom pieces that you want to start building. Okay, so we're going to again try to get a broad range of tools and techniques covered using the pieces for this car, but also for the remote as well. All right, so this is going to be our goal. So in the next lesson, we'll talk about setting up reference images and working with those as we start to build our remote control car. So we'll go ahead and look at that process in the next lesson.